When was the last time you looked at yourself in the mirror and asked, "Am I truly living the life I want?" Not the life that others expect from me, not the one that seems right in the eyes of society, but the one that genuinely resonates with my soul. Carl Jung, one of the most profound thinkers in modern psychology, left us with a lesson that few dare to follow: the importance of choosing yourself even when everything around you seems to push you in the opposite direction. It's this very act of courage of choosing your path that sets the foundation for genuine fulfillment and inner peace. Now, let's think about this for a second. How often do we find ourselves compromising our deepest desires for the sake of what seems practical or expected? How often do we silence our inner voice because we fear the uncertainty that comes with stepping off the well-trodden path? It's almost as if we're programmed to forget that the most important conversation we can ever have is the one that happens within the walls of our own mind. But here's where the ancient philosophy of Stoicism ties beautifully with Jung's insights. Stoicism teaches us about the art of living in accordance with nature, our own true nature. It encourages us to ask ourselves, are my actions aligned with my core values? Am I living truthfully to my innermost desires and principles? Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus focused on personal integrity and wisdom, much like Jung's call for individuation, the lifelong journey of becoming who we truly are, not just what the world expects us to be. This conversation isn't just philosophical musings, it's a call to action. It's about realizing that every day we face choices that either align us more closely with our authentic selves or lead us further away. When we look in the mirror, are we seeing the person we truly want to be, or a reflection marred by compromises and unfulfilled promises? It's about asking not just who am I, but who am I becoming? Choosing yourself might mean setting boundaries, perhaps saying no when it's easier to say yes. It might involve pursuing a passion that doesn't fit the conventional definition of success. This choice isn't about self-interest, it's about self-respect. It's a declaration that you value your life enough to live it on your terms, to make it a true expression of yourself. So as we explore these ideas together, remember that understanding yourself and living in harmony with that understanding isn't an act of rebellion, it's an act of liberation. It frees us from external expectations and allows us to craft a life that is not just bearable, not just satisfactory, but deeply enriching and joyously lived. Before we get into it, there's a simple, free favor I'll ask you. If you appreciate what we're doing here, hit the subscribe button. It takes less than a second, but it helps bring this content to more people who need it. Let's dive in. Understanding the conflict, society versus self. As we navigate the world, we're constantly juggling the expectations laid upon us by society with our own inner desires and beliefs. This struggle isn't just about choosing between right and wrong, but about deciphering the subtle, often unspoken demands of our surroundings versus the quiet, insistent voice within. This internal battle can feel like standing at a crossroads where every direction is shrouded in fog, and the only guide you have is your own compass, your core self. Carl Jung famously said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." This is not merely a call to self-discovery, it's a challenge to confront the very pressures that mold us into forms far removed from our true essence. Jung's thoughts dovetail neatly with the Stoic principle that external events don't harm us. Rather, our perceptions of them do. It's not the demands of society that constrain us, but our response to those demands, our willingness to conform without questioning whether the path we're on truly suits our nature. Stoicism provides a framework for dealing with these societal pressures, not by withdrawing, but by engaging with the world in a more mindful way. Seneca, one of the stalwarts of Stoic philosophy, offers wisdom that resonates deeply here. If you really want to escape the things that harass you, what you're needing is not to be in a different place, but to be a different person. This statement is a powerful reminder that the real conflict isn't between you and society. It's between you and the version of yourself that you've been persuaded to be. This ongoing conflict requires us to be vigilant, to constantly ask ourselves if the life we are living is truly our own or one that's been heavily edited by societal expectations. It's about recognizing that while we may not control the external world, we do control our reactions, our decisions, and ultimately, our destiny. In this understanding, there lies a profound freedom, a freedom to align more closely with our genuine selves, even if it means standing apart from the crowd. The cost of ignoring your voice. Ignoring your own voice, that inner dialogue that guides and shapes your path, carries a heavier price than many of us realize. Every time we silence that voice, every time we choose the path of least resistance for the sake of ease or approval, we pay with a piece of our authenticity. It's like building a house on a foundation of sand. It may stand for a while, but it's vulnerable to collapse under pressure. Carl Jung captured this sentiment when he discussed the idea of the persona, the mask that we wear in public, the role we play that conforms to societal expectations. Jung warned of the danger in identifying too closely with these personas, stating, "The individual often bears a mask in order to conform to the expectations of others, thus compromising his or her true self." Over time, this suppression of our true identity doesn't just limit our potential, it can lead to profound unhappiness and existential distress. It's as if we're strangers in our own lives, looking in from the outside, unable to connect deeply with our work, our relationships, or our passions. From a Stoic perspective, Epictetus offers guidance that resonates with this plight. He taught that we are disturbed not by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens. When we ignore our inner voice, we're not just making a benign choice, we're actively shaping our perception of who we are and what we value. Over time, these distorted perceptions can lead us to live lives that feel not only unfulfilling, but fundamentally dissonant. The cost of ignoring your voice is not just about missing out on a more authentic life. It also affects how we interact with the world and with others. When we're not true to ourselves, we can't be fully honest or present with others. Our relationships may suffer because they're not rooted in genuine interaction. We might find ourselves wearing so many masks that we forget what it's like to be real, to be vulnerable, to be seen. By reclaiming our voice, by daring to listen and respond to our deepest needs and truths, we open ourselves up to a life of greater integrity and meaning. This is not just about personal satisfaction. It's about creating a life that is resilient to the external pressures that once swayed us so easily. In doing so, we not only find peace within ourselves, but become a beacon for authenticity in a world that often values conformity over individuality. This journey of reconnection with our inner voice is challenging, but it is also one of the most rewarding pursuits we can undertake. What does listening to yourself even mean? Listening to yourself, really tuning into your inner dialogue and desires, is a concept that might sound straightforward, yet it's profoundly complex and deeply transformative. But what does it really mean to listen to yourself? It goes beyond simply acknowledging your desires or reacting to your emotions. It's about developing a deep, sustained connection with your innermost thoughts and feelings, understanding the why behind your impulses and aligning your actions with your true values. Carl Jung illuminated this when he talked about the necessity of individuation, a process he described as becoming oneself completely and holistically. Jung believed that this self-realization goes beyond mere self-awareness. It is about reconciling the various parts of the self to achieve a unified whole. He argued, "Your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes." Listening to yourself means peeling back the layers of societal conditioning, expectations, and self-imposed narratives to discover what truly motivates and moves you. From a Stoic perspective, listening to oneself isn't just about internal harmony, but also about rationality and reason. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, emphasized the importance of living according to reason and virtue. In his Meditations, Aurelius writes, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This retreat into one's soul isn't for escape, but for reflection, and to ensure that one's life is in accordance with their own principles and the higher virtues of wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. Listening to yourself means consistently asking challenging questions. Am I pursuing this path because it's what I truly believe in, or am I motivated by fear, desire for approval, or avoidance of discomfort? It involves a constant dialogue, a perpetual audit of your motives, and an ongoing refinement of your actions. This internal conversation is critical because it steers you away from living on autopilot and guides you towards a more conscious, deliberate life. This deep internal listening is what enables you to make choices that genuinely resonate with your essence. It allows you to navigate life not merely as a respondent to external stimuli, but as an active, deliberate creator of your own path. When you start to live in this aligned way, your choices become more intentional, your responses more thoughtful, and your life more congruent with your ideals. It transforms the existential question from "what should I do?" to "what does my most authentic self choose to do?" By fostering this inner connection, you develop not just a stronger sense of self, but also a greater resilience against life's vicissitudes. You become less swayed by the fleeting trends and more anchored in your own truth. This is the essence of living a Stoic life, a life where despite external chaos, there is internal serenity and steadfastness, rooted in a profound connection with oneself. Practical steps to tune in. Tuning into your inner self sounds like a major undertaking, and it can be, but it doesn't have to start with monumental changes or drastic life overhauls. In fact, it can begin with small daily practices that gradually bring you closer to understanding and aligning with your true self. Here are some practical steps that you can integrate into your everyday life to deepen this connection. First and foremost, start with reflection. It's something the Stoics practiced diligently. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal writings, consistently encouraged reflective practices, noting, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Take time each day, even if it's just a few minutes in the morning or before bed, to reflect on your day, your decisions, and your feelings." Journaling can be a powerful tool in this process. It helps you track your thoughts and moods over time and provides a mirror to reflect on your true feelings and the reasons behind your actions. Carl Jung championed the idea of looking inward to understand our outer actions. He believed that "who looks inside awakes," suggesting that our true awakening and understanding begin when we dare to examine our internal landscapes. By journaling or simply meditating on our daily experiences, we can start to see patterns in our behavior and identify what truly drives us, which in turn illuminates the parts of our lives that may need adjustment. Another practical step is to practice mindfulness. This doesn't just mean meditating in the traditional sense, but rather cultivating a habit of being present and fully engaged with whatever you're doing. This could be as simple as focusing fully on a conversation without letting your mind wander, or eating a meal without the distraction of screens. By being present, you give yourself the opportunity to listen more closely to your inner voice without the constant interference of external noise. Engaging in regular dialogue with yourself is also crucial. Ask yourself hard questions and be ready to hear the answers that might challenge your current lifestyle or beliefs. Stoicism teaches us the value of self-scrutiny and encourages a life led by virtue and reason. Questions like, is this action virtuous? Or, does this choice align with my reason? Can help guide your decisions and ensure they are in harmony with your true self. Lastly, set boundaries based on what you discover about yourself. This is about respecting your limits and communicating them to others. As Jung might suggest, acknowledging and respecting your personal boundaries helps in maintaining psychological health and personal integrity. It's about knowing how much to give and when to step back and recharge, ensuring that your actions do not betray your inner needs. Implementing these steps consistently helps build a strong foundation of self-knowledge and self-respect. Over time, as you become more attuned to your inner workings, you'll find it becomes easier to make decisions that are true to yourself, leading to a more fulfilling and authentic life. Each step, no matter how small, is a step towards a more aware and aligned existence, a core principle in both Stoic philosophy and Jungian psychology. The power of choosing yourself. Choosing yourself might sound like a straightforward concept, yet it holds profound power that can dramatically transform your life. When you make the decision to honor your needs, pursue your aspirations and set boundaries, you're not just making a statement about what you value, you're actively shaping your future. Carl Jung emphasized the importance of individuation, which he described as the process of becoming aware of oneself, of realizing one's own psychological tendencies, and of striving to harmonize and develop these into a balanced personality. Choosing yourself is at the heart of this journey. Jung once remarked, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." Thus, embracing your true self requires courage and honesty, acknowledging who you are, including your strengths and your vulnerabilities. From a Stoic viewpoint, choosing yourself is not about ego or self-indulgence, it's about self-mastery. The Stoics believed that true power lies in our ability to control our reactions to the external world, not in trying to control the world itself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This strength comes from focusing on what you can change and detaching from what you cannot, which fundamentally begins with yourself. When you choose yourself, you also prioritize your mental and emotional well-being. This isn't selfish, it's necessary. It's about giving yourself permission to say no, to take breaks, and to put your own well-being on par with the obligations you have to others. This practice helps in cultivating inner peace and resilience, enabling you to meet life's challenges with a composed and steady disposition. The ripple effects of choosing yourself are profound. By establishing a life that truly reflects your values and desires, you attract opportunities and relationships that resonate with your authentic self. People are drawn to authenticity, and when they see someone who is true to themselves, it often inspires them to engage in similar introspection and growth. This isn't merely a personal victory, it's a communal influence, enhancing not just your life, but also the lives of those around you. Furthermore, embracing your true self can liberate you from many of the fears and insecurities that arise from societal expectations. Jung understood that much of our unhappiness stems from the disconnect between our true nature and the personas we adopt to fit societal molds. By choosing yourself, you reduce this gap, decreasing the psychological stress and dissonance that comes from living a life that isn't truly yours. The path less traveled. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a dense forest. The air around you is calm, and the path ahead is less trodden, covered in overgrown branches and leaves. It's not the main path that everyone else takes, which looks well paved and easy to travel. No, this path is different. It's quieter, mysterious, and it seems like it was made just for you. This is the path less traveled, and it's a powerful metaphor for the choices we face in life when we decide to listen to our inner selves rather than follow the crowd. Carl Jung, delving deep into the realms of the unconscious, encouraged us to confront our own unique path, stating, "The path less traveled by is in reality the myth of one's own self." Jung believed that this journey, though fraught with challenges and uncertainties, is crucial for personal development and self-discovery. It's about embracing your own journey with all its unique ups and downs, instead of walking a path that has been laid out by others. Stoicism, with its focus on personal virtue and integrity, aligns closely with this idea. The Stoics taught that true freedom comes from within, from our ability to govern ourselves and our reactions to the world around us, rather than being swayed by external circumstances. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, once mused on the importance of forging one's own path. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Choosing the path less traveled is about not conforming to the external pressures or expectations that seek to define us, but rather finding our own way by adhering to our inner virtues. This path is not just a route through a physical landscape, but a journey through the landscape of your own life. It's about making choices that may not always be understood by others, but are right for you. It's about the courage to explore uncharted territories in your career, your relationships, and your personal growth. Each step you take on this path is a step towards a deeper understanding of who you are and what you truly value. As you walk this path, you might find it lonely at times, because fewer people choose this way, the way of rigorous honesty, of vulnerability, of genuine self-expression. But along this path, you also find unparalleled beauty, moments of profound truth, and the deep peace that comes from knowing you are living a life that is authentically yours. It's about you, not selfishness. Choosing yourself might raise eyebrows. Some might call it selfish, but here's the real scoop. Prioritizing your own growth and well-being is not just about bettering your own life. It's about empowering yourself to contribute more authentically to the world around you. Carl Jung put it succinctly when he said, "The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely." Embracing this not only challenges us to confront and integrate our shadows, but also to live in a way that is deeply aligned with our inner truths. From a Stoic perspective, choosing yourself aligns with the virtue of self-control and personal integrity. Stoicism teaches us that self-mastery, the ability to control one's actions, impulses, and emotions, is the ultimate freedom. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, once stated, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." When we focus on ourselves, not in a narcissistic way, but in a manner that seeks growth and personal excellence, we're actually positioning ourselves to be of greater service to others. We can't control external events, but we can control our responses, and in doing so, we shape our own character. This empowerment through self-focus allows you to operate from a place of strength and abundance, rather than neediness and deficiency. When you're not desperate for external validation, you make choices that are more considered and true to your values. This isn't selfish, it's wise. It enables you to offer the world the best version of yourself, a self that is fulfilled, balanced, and capable of true generosity. Moreover, choosing yourself fosters a kind of inner peace that is infectious. Jung also believed that who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. When you awake to your true self, you live with an authenticity that encourages others to pursue their own self-discovery and healing. Your decision to prioritize your well-being sends a powerful message to those around you about the value of personal integrity and authenticity. When we talk about choosing yourself, we are talking about a radical act of self-respect that reverberates beyond individual boundaries. It teaches us that true self-care is the cornerstone upon which we build a life that not only serves our needs, but also makes us capable of truly serving others. It's about filling your own cup so that you're overflowing with the resources to pour into the lives of others without depleting yourself. Remember, embracing your true self isn't just a journey. It's a transformation that resonates deeply within and radiates outward, influencing every part of your life.